That's right. Greetings, fellow Armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Skip a Pie.
An orange bird.
He can't speak. That's canon.
Oh my god.
That's
All
official Disney canon, is that he cannot speak, but people can see his thought bubbles.
Wait, I didn't know that was actually a thing. Oh dear
Yeah, no,
god.
that's actually a thing. Going back to the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
Hi,
So,
Orange Man.
folks, who's ready for some Armchair Imagineering? We got a cast to go over.
Yeah. And it's a big cast, too. I'm excited for this.
Okay, but before we do that, Pi, we have to spend a little bit of time with meaningless bullshit chit-chat. Are you ready for some meaningless bullshit chit-chat?
It's my favorite thing.
Okay, I just legitimately need to vent about this because it's like fresh off the presses, and I still just can't believe it. Did you see what I posted in the I believe the hype thread about the new thing that's coming to Disneyland?
No, I haven't seen it.
Go look right now. Folks, what's coming to Disneyland? They're turning the Fantasyland Theater into a random Pixar character show party thing. Yeah. But you know what else is even more awesome, Pi?
What?
The Hollywood backlot area of California Adventure that they totally need to just add an actual permanent addition to instead of just all this temporary bullshit?
Yeah, that like this looks like it would be a part of.
Yes. They're also adding another Pixar-themed bullshit character party thing to that area, too.
I mean, that could be fun. Like the electronic stuff is fun.
Pi, all I know is that I had my trip to Universal Florida for Epic Universe in 2025 all planned out.
This is gonna make you change it because you gotta go here instead.
You're goddamn right, man. I don't have to just go once, man. I need an annual pass so I can just keep experiencing the glory of the random bullshit Pixar character meet and greet show party, whatever.
Yeah, this is an open to close event.
At least they're reusing props from Heimlich's Choo Choo Train. Anyways.
Okay. Yes, LEB, the real Orange Bird is here. It was a big get. He is not cheap. Big diva. Okay,
so yeah, we have Carter Dunlap, Corvin Hartwick, LEB in the comments here. Kogias is asking what this is about. Also Colby. Colby's here too. So yeah, Kogias is asking what this is about. Pi, please, by all means, regale us. What are we here to do today?
This is Citrus Dreaming, a new Imagineering competition. Disneyland, before it was Disneyland, was just a bunch of oranges. So we're taking that spirit to a new competition. And it's Armchair Imagineering, but with, orange themes, Adventureland stuff, and probably dumb jokes, because I love dumb jokes.
And, all right.
And yeah, that's right.
Nice. Okay, so explain now, Kogias, I actually think you're so new, and obviously you're a big contributor here now, but I actually don't think Kogias has been around for any of our Armchair Imagineering competitions in the past. Ooh. So Pi, just really quick, just elevator pitch them on what the basis of it is.
So essentially, the main concept is whoever is the host, in this case, it's me and Obi, that's Orange Bird, going to give the players a challenge. Like, say, what would you put in this empty spot in Epcot? I could be more specific, probably should. There's a lot of empty spots in Epcot, but So I give them a challenge, and then the players have usually about a week, give or take, to write it up. It's creative writing, it's art. Some people have done music or videos. There was one person used to be around here who had an actual animatronic that was reprogrammed to do shows for it.
Oh
People
my
get
God.
crazy with it. Pretty much, if you have any talent that could be remotely considered art, you can use it here and do whatever you want with it.
Plus a little bit of social politicking along the way.
Oh yeah, you never know if there might be scheming or rewards or alliances. I don't know if Ace Astro's in here, but if he's not in the chat, it's probably because he's currently working on making alliances.
Ace is Corvin, so yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, with that in mind, let's just jump right into it. We got an all-star lineup with some exciting fresh faces to go along with it. What team do you want to start with?
I say, unless you have a preference of which one you have written out, I say we start with Team Birds.
Team Birds. Okay, that's fine with me. Okay. 1 second.
I'm not going to my list of people because I forget who's on which team. Of course not.
Okay, so let's start things out. We got
go for it.
We got an iconic one, Ace, fresh off the heels of his win in the Manor of Mysteries.
Oh, and the win for one sentence competition too. Ace has won 2 competitions this year, and it's halfway through March.
There we go. Team Birds.
Team Birds.
Yeah, and obviously Ace he's well known for the strategy, and I will tell you guys, during the Manor of Mysteries, I actually have a couple fun things I can reveal about my Manor of Mysteries gameplay now that it's all over with. So I actually had both the Monkey's Paw, which, okay, you know what? I'm going to just reveal it. I was the one who did the initial team swap on Manor of Mysteries.
Nice.
And I did that just because I was looking at the team layout and I was like, you know what? I like all these people, but man, it needs a little bit of a shakeup. And also on Manor of Mysteries, I had the magic lamp, which is something that I don't believe anybody actually knew about, and that gave me 3 wishes that weren't monkey paw wishes. The thing is, I feel like I should have done more with those things than I did, because at one point in the game, I literally had 3 wishes and 2 monkey paw wishes. I only ever used, I believe, Paragon, correct me if I'm wrong, I only ever used the 1 monkey paw wish. So, yeah, anyways, all this just to say, Ace was my number 1 ally in that game, and he did go on to win, so I consider that a victory on my end.
There you go. I give you the credit for that.
Sure.
I don't know if you saw the end of season wrap-up podcast that me and Pergron did about Manor of Mysteries, but one of the things he said is that I was really hoping Tiki would just use the genie lamp and be like, I wish to win the game. And we can just end it there.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I forgot you guys did that. I did miss that. Let's see. We have Muppet Fan and also Outbound in the comments. Happy to have you guys. Yeah. Outbound, I'm stoked to see you, man. We'll get to you in a sec. All right, anything else on Ace?
Not much to say. Like, people have said it already. It seems to be the year of Ace Astro. The only thing I could see possibly affecting him is between just coming off the tail of winning, and he's also hosting the 1 sentence competition starting in like 2 weeks or so. If his guy might be a little burnt out to bring his full A game again, but we'll see.
All right, next up is So You Want to Be an Imagineer Season 17 winner, Disney Dad. I bet Disney Dad himself doesn't even remember that he won that season.
That was a fun season, though. I like that.
It was a fun season, but I feel like it was, the activity was kind of hit spotty. But, yeah.
But I mean, Disney Dad's fantastic. He has such an eye for when a project needs a plus and what's gonna like elevate it presentation wise. If it's like a video or animation or a website or a booklet, he's so great at that.
Yeah, I always feel like he's got usually around a mid-merge trajectory of his game because he's very consistent in the early rounds for essentially like you said, that reliability factor. But at the same time, Dad is writing his name. Dads tend to be busy. He's a career man himself.
No, he has a lot of kids then.
I know, right? C. Dunlap, there are 20 seasons in total. We did the final season last year, which you won, Pi.
Yeah.
That was I still can't believe how well that finale went with you and OSU Phantom tying the votes and then Tegan having to break the tie. That was amazing.
That was so that was so fun.
Anyways. Especially because, literally the whole time that Goofy and I were doing that season, we were like, yeah, this is just a runaway for Tegan. Like there's no way that Tegan is not winning this. But,
it really was. Once we got to that final three, it was anyone's game.
There's a little thing called jury management. You can't be too strategic in a game that's based on creativity. Anyways, love you, Tegan. Anyways. All right, so next up, do we have anything else to say about Disney Dad?
He's cool.
Indeed.
I think we about summed it up.
All right, next up we have Disney Man 1. This guy, I think, is just a total wild card. And by all intents and purposes, every time he goes back a long time. Like, I'm pretty damn sure that he goes back to the Vision's Fantastic era of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. I'm pretty sure about that. And I can tell you every time he's played, it's very much kind of like you don't really know what you're going to get. I feel like it all depends on his level of availability. Sometimes he can really crush it, make it to the end game. Other times he's out very early. So, but he's never won anything from what I remember.
I'll say this about his potential availability or commitment or anything like that. I believe in the entire time I've known him, going back to when I was new in the forum with, I think the first time working with him was season 14 of So You Want to Be an Imagineer.
Uh-huh.
So a long time ago, like 8 years. I don't think I've ever seen him change his profile pic. When Team Bird started changing their profile pics, he did it before the game even started. So I think Disney Man.
Now that is a pretty good indicator, honestly.
Yeah. And as far as like his talents, he is such a good writer and can write so much so fast. I always go back to, again, that season 14 when I didn't really know anyone working on that Pinocchio musical, if you remember that project.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The entire script in a 6-day project. Team Birds, yeah. Thanks, Obi.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also, I feel like I'm a boomer for still referring to the profile pictures as avatars. Is that a boomer thing for me to do?
Maybe a little bit.
Oh my god! Oh fuck! I'm old.
There's so many things I'm a boomer about. I learned what Rizzler is just the other day from a coworker.
Well, I don't even
felt like I went from mid-20s to late 40s in like a blink of an eye when that happened.
All right. Okay, so yeah, next up, who do we have? We have...
And also checking in on the chat. There's a lot going on. LED is seeing double 4 Ace Astros.
Yes.
Blue is asking for an Orange Bird reveal of who's playing them. Orange Bird's playing them. You can see their thought bubbles. That's canon Orange Bird lore, literally going back to 1971. I'm not making that up. He also moved to Florida because he wanted to eat the oranges. And does that count as cannibalism? I'll let you decide. Again, canon lore.
All right.
There's a lot going on in the chat. I love it. This is all the lines
I
happening.
feel like this is a conversation that Jokers would very much approve of.
Ooh, Jokers. He's always one of the funnest people to walk
Dude,
with.
Jokers is one of my oldest internet friends. Actually, wait. At this point, no, I think technically I was working with Man Eating Wreath before him. But as far as like someone that I am still in regular contact with, it's him, Man Eating Wreath, Monkey. Like those are the big three. Like literally, I still have a group chat on Facebook Messenger from like 10 years ago with those three in it that still gets updated like daily. So
awesome.
yeah, I don't know. I love Joker to death. He is actually pretty much the reason why we even have the podcast as it is now. Believe it or not, Blue Dragon 5 was not around for the first roughly 6 months or so of us recording podcasts. It was just Jokers and I for the most part, with occasional pop-ins from people like Man Eating Wreath and Monkey. Remember when Man Eating Wreath used to do podcasts? That was a thing at one point. Anyways, I miss that.
See, when I came to the forum, that was right when Man Eating Wreath kind of entered the era of, I'm just going to keep doing the Dream Talk and just kind of keep polishing and refining this every couple months.
More or less, yeah. But
Which
yes,
it's amazing.
But Jokers is he's a force to be reckoned with when he's active in the game. I have seen seasons he's played in where he just goes out early because he just has too full of a schedule. So I really don't know what his activity level is going to be like. I know that based on his activity level in the group chats, it's not like he's entirely absent, but he's definitely out of those core four, he's definitely the person that communicates the least. Granted, he's in Japan, so that's a factor.
That kind of works against you, especially in a team game.
I know, right?
But like we said, as long as he's able to be active and connected, he's great at what he does. He has a really funness to his projects, if that makes sense. And he has music, which is something not a lot of people do. I don't think him and T-Game are probably the only two that really are known for doing music in these games.
So
that can help
the only thing that I am not jealous about with Jokers when it comes to Tokyo Disney Muppets fan is I am not jealous of the fact that he has all other theme parks completely fucking ruined for him now. That's the one thing that I am not jealous of. Just like for me, I don't know about you when it comes to have you read the good book, Pi? Have you read the good book?
I have not. I still haven't seen the first Dune.
What about the sequel, Pi? What about the sequel? What about the third book? Yeah,
I have to catch up. Who knows? Maybe that's what I'm doing this weekend.
Oh my God. Yeah, just read this whole thing. Just this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm currently in Dune is my new religion at this point, basically. Dune Part 2 is such an amazing movie that legitimately I feel like it's ruined movies for me.
Oh, Obi's mad at that pun. That's okay, Obi. I'll tell worse puns. Give it time.
Tiki, are you ready for Paul's Child and Children of Dune? I didn't know that was Children of Dune. I am ready for that. I didn't know it was Children of Dune, though. I just assumed that was when shit went really off the rails, post Frank Herbert. Anyways. So, yes, my whole point with the Dune thing is, I know what it's like to have something ruined for you because it's just so good that it just eclipses everything else. Dune 2 is absolutely the Godfather 2 of our generation. Dune 2 is the fucking 2001 A Space Odyssey of our generation. Dune 2 is the Citizen Kane of our generation. I mean, it's a masterpiece. Anyways.
I'll have to check it out. I might see Madam Web first, because I feel like that's going to be just as good, but who knows?
Okay, can we just pause for a minute here and just talk about all the shit that's coming out that isn't Dune Part 2? Like Kung Fu Panda 4, which I was willing to give a chance, but by all intents and purposes, all I've heard is like it's totally mid, it's the worst in the series. Let's see. We got Pi, are you excited for Ghostbusters, but it's Frozen?
A little bit.
Are you excited for the Ice Ghosts?
I'm not saying I think it's going to be good. I am saying that it's going to be Ghostbusters, and I'm sold because of that. I even like the crap.
I can't. I literally the whole concept of that movie, dude, is it's so cynical. It's so fucking cynical. It's just like, what are we gonna do for another Ghostbusters movie? Oh, those Frozen movies are big hits. Let's do that. It's it's incredible. I have never seen such a complete lack of creativity. Anyway,
it's gonna be great.
You want to hear my thoughts on Godzilla X Kong? Anyways, I think it's gonna be fucking trash.
Lack of creativity. Who's next? That's mean. I don't actually know who's next. I want to clarify. I just thought that'd be funny to say.
Ghostbusters Tropical Freeze. Yes.
Bill Murray should sing "Love Is an Open Door." That will. Oh my god,
dude. Seriously, I for the life of me, I cannot understand how they landed on ice ghosts. I do, and you know what? I will even say the trailers look good. Like the trailers make it look like a perfectly decent movie. I just think the premise is just insanely stupid.
The ice ghost is a weird concept. I'm curious what's gonna happen with that.
Anyways,
but you know.
Oh man. Oh god, I've missed these random tangents.
Oh yeah.
All right, next up we have Lizzie. Lizzie's the worst, man.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Now there's 5 birds because this is the 5th person.
Yeah. Obviously, I feel like. What? I'm sorry?
Yeah, you go.
I was just going to say, I feel like she's definitely one of the more active people when it comes to like engaging on the social front. Like she's always around. She's always contributing ideas. She's always talking to people. I honestly feel like she's kind of like just waiting for that perfect time where her personal schedule aligns with really good projects that suit her skill set. I really think she has the potential to go very far in a game like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. And on top of all that, really good with the artwork too. Like they might not be the technical best artists, but they got like a spark to what they draw that really sells whatever it is. You get what they're going for. It makes it so cute, so fun, especially when they're drawing mascots. Do you remember for the I think it was Rocky or something from Sorcerer's Apprentice 7? I loved it. We even added it to our logo for a while. It was a little mold from an Epcot project we did.
I don't actually remember that. The Sorcerer's Apprentice is like such a vast game. It's got so many different projects.
But the point is they're really good at doing both like mascots and character artwork in a way that captures exactly what you want from that.
Okay, we got some Garfield chat.
Yeah. Garfield's number one friend.
You know what, Pi? I'm gonna be straight up with you. I've really got to take a piss.
Go for it.
So can you vent about the Garfield movie for a minute and what you think of the Garfield movie? Will I go do that really quick?
I'll see what I can do there, yeah.
All right. I will be right back, folks. I'm just being an open book.
You do what you need to do. There's a Garfield movie. And I don't think in a million years, if I was casting 2 leads in the Garfield movie, I would have ever chosen Chris Pratt and Samuel L. Jackson. That's a really weird cast. Also, if anyone, like, while we're here, you can, if you have any questions about the game or anything like that, you can pass that along. All questions about Garfield, I can't promise I'll be able to answer them. Obi has something to say about Garfield. Oh, yep. That's Garfield. That is comic accurate Garfield, I believe. Yeah, only likes characters out orange. Another good thing about B. And that's why I think the Garfield movie is going to be better than Dune 2. Hey, Tiki.
You sounded like you were really struggling there, man.
I started and I realized, oh, I have started this too early. I might not have headphones in yet. So I had to like face it out.
I can say that I am not impressed with the trailers. I'll leave it at that. But you know what? I really feel like I'm starting to sound like a total cynical asshole. But really, movie-wise, there's not a lot. There's not a lot that really excites me right now.
Yeah, there was the writer's strike and the actor's strike last year. There's not much coming out this year in general, unless it's either already done or is kind of like the disposable stuff they're just gonna throw out anyways.
I mean, Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. That's pretty much what I'm living for, and that's literally not until fucking Christmas. Yeah. At least it has a release date.
That's something.
All right. Moving on, we have. All right, let's talk Muppet Fan.
Muppet Fan. So they're a very new member to the forum, I believe. I don't know exactly.
I'm pretty sure they signed up right around the time of So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20. So they've been around roughly about a year or so.
I don't know too much about their work in any kind of like big competition like this that I could at least find or remember fully. That's because I've been gone most of the year since So You Want to Be an Imagineer ended. Got busy, things like that. I will say they're very active on the forum. They were in the one sentence competition. They're excited, they're active, they're passionate, and they got a lot of good ideas, and they seem ready to go.
Yeah, Muppet Fan is he was a standout character in So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20, I think. Also, Peregrine, we did not skip Monorail Red. I'm literally just going in the order in which Pi read out the names. So any discrepancy in the order, just blame him.
Yeah, I had the list, and then I added Monorail Red at the end because I already had the list.
Shame.
I know.
Anyways.
I'm really
seriously, I really thought that in season 20, Muppet Fan came out of the gate legitimately one of the most active people that I've seen play a game like this. To the point where it was almost a detriment how active he was, because he would literally go faster with the brainstorming than the team was. The team couldn't like keep up with all the ideas that he was throwing out. But you know what? In a game like this, that's about the best problem you can possibly have. Is being
that was my big problem when I started, being I had to learn how to kind of work at the team's pace a bit more, but
right,
active and excited, like you said, best problem.
It's literally like in a job interview, like, what's your worst quality? I'm too passionate. Like, that's literally Muppet Fan.
Yeah.
Now, from what I remember, I do think Muppet Fan, you're in the chat, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that he was engaging in the strategy a little bit, a little dabbling in the strategy from what I remember. And from what I remember, it almost kind of got him into some hot water. But I literally might be thinking of someone else. It might
be a tough balance to strike, especially when you're one of the new people to the group. Although I will say, for a game like this, while there is going to be like prizes and other things you can do that could be like strategy or quiz, it's not going to be quite as big on like strategy and big game changing prizes as like So You Want to Be Imagineer or Man of Mysteries. But like, there's stuff there. If players want to make it that, I'm not going to stop them. You want to get sneaky, I'm sure there's ways you can do it.
Yeah.
I always like a good loophole.
Okay, I was. If you meant that, I argued a lot during the Galaxy's Edge prompt. Yes. Yeah, I just remember not so much the arguments, but I do remember you kind of like vouching, like trying to do some social politicking. But like I said, it's like very active person. Honestly, I was stoked to see him in the game for as long as he lasted, and I'll tell you this: if he didn't drop out, I don't think he was going anywhere anytime soon. Honestly, I think he easily makes the merge if he didn't drop out, because it's just like when you're a judge, it's hard to justify getting rid of someone that's that active, even in spite of potentially stepping on people's toes. So I honestly think Muppet Fan has a really good shot at making it deep this time around. I think if he can really take all the positive qualities that he has, which are a lot, and kind of learn from the mistakes he made along the way the last time around, I really think he's a contender here. Which says a lot, because this cast is stacked, and he is one of the newer people on the cast.
I think Space made a joke in the main thread today, or might have been the chat thread, that I don't know if both these teams are really stacked, or if this is just like recreation time at the Imagineering retirement home. But either way, I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Space Cap is like that.
A little bit. All right, so just a shout out. We got Tegan and Theme Park Priest in the chat. How you guys doing? Happy to see y'all. We also have a. I don't know if you're keeping up with this shaming thing that's going on. But
I've been properly shamed.
All right. Shame on Pi. Shame on Pi. All right.
That's fair.
All right. Moving on. Oh my god, I'm not doing great with these banners and getting them up in a timely fashion. Okay, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Per frickin' Gron.
Ooh, no longer going through his evil era, so that's good.
Yeah. I think Per Gron straight up one of the. I think he's straight up one of the best Imagineers in the community, like hands down, no hold barred, easily. I think he's just got such a level of detail. His world building is impeccable. Obviously, he's got the passion for animals. It's one of those things where it's like, if you are on Per Gron's team when there's anything to do with animals, that's like automatically like a buffer for you. Like that's automatically giving you giving you a raise in your odds.
I mean, there's always the running gag that he's Joe Rohde in disguise, but honestly, just like his style of how he writes things and how he does things, he really, between the big backstory, the detailed environments, tends to be less IP, more based on like different cultures and myths, and animals everywhere, all the animals. Pilgrim's got it. The only thing that might hold him back is depending on how his availability goes.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's able to stay active and connected, he's definitely someone who's going to go far.
Another thing I love about Per Gron is that I feel like he's literally, I don't say this lightly, he's the single person in my life that I have met who's more of a movie geek than I am. The single one. I have never met someone who is more into movies than I am. But this man literally sees everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Like, he's got like maybe 40, 50 movies on his list, and I have like less than 10 so far this year. Granted, I've seen Dune 2 like 3 times, but
I think I actually haven't seen a movie in theaters yet this year. You're gonna really hate me when I say this. I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh my god, that's not that bad. I know people who have gone. I know people who have gone longer than that.
Yeah.
300 movies a year is quite an accomplishment. Yeah, I tried to do 100 a year, and honestly, even that's pretty exhausting. Tiki didn't geek out over Dwalt. Okay, being a movie geek does not mean you literally geek out over every movie. Quite the contrary, in fact. Being a movie geek means you're a picky bitch like me who only gets joy out of a very select type of film. So, yeah. Anyways. The fact that he has a movie thread, it doesn't surprise me that he's a movie geek. Did you see that list of 2007 movies that I posted, Pi?
Oh, yeah, I did.
That list is something else, my dude. It is something else. Like, legitimately, I want to do a podcast with Paragon where we just go through that list and just nitpick the fuck out of it.
You should. That'd be fun. I think
you know what? The miracle of that
underrated on that list at 9.5 instead of a 10. But, that's just me.
What is?
Speed Racer.
Oh, I love Speed Racer. I feel like I got that right. I feel like history has agreed with me on Speed fucking Racer.
Yeah.
But with that list, the thing that boggles my mind about that list is that there's so many incorrect takes on that list. So many incorrect takes. And yet somehow 17-year-old me still managed to make the correct call for number 1 with There Will Be Blood. Somehow I don't it's like I almost like stumbled ass backwards into that. Anyways. So yeah, Peregrine, like you said, availability is going to be his only factor. If he is locked in, I mean, like if Peregrine is on a roll, then he's pretty much like semifinals.
Oh, yeah. It's just that walking at a zoo means that his schedule is kind of inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's able to be here, he's going to be
around.
Winning, yeah.
You know, all those hot zoo spring break parties.
It's where all the cool kids go. I believe that's what MTV goes.
I still think Peregrine is slightly bitter at the fact that I got to go to the San Diego Zoo before him. Seriously, it's gonna, when he does make it there, it's gonna blow his mind. Anyways.
That's gonna be the thing that sends him in back to darkness.
Oh my god. Because he's just like, I just want to live here and I can't, and I'm angry about it. All right. Moving on, this guy, he might be the biggest question mark in the cast for me, honestly.
Ooh.
And that is T-Cool. T-Cool, one of the elder statesmen of the WDWMagic side of the Armchair Imagineering community, here way before the Vigilance Fantastic people got here. And from what I remember, it's been a minute since he's competed in anything.
I think so.
But that being said, I mean, the dude has a legacy to his name, so it's, so I'm very curious to see how he does. I legitimately feel like, I kind of feel like he's the OSU Phantom of this season, where OSU Phantom, if you go back and watch my cast assessment, I probably said something to the extent of, if he's locked in, he can go all the way. But if he's not, I could see him being the first one out from his team. Obviously, OSU Phantom locked in was one vote away from winning the whole thing. So we'll see with T-Cool. I feel like he's got a very similar kind of like hit or miss trajectory.
I feel like one thing about T-Cool that I do want to shout out, beyond just that, is when I was going through the one sentence competition retrospectives that I did in the lead up to when I did the episode. T-Cool obviously was in a lot of those because he pretty much started the one sentence competition as it is here, and he always comes back. And especially the recent ones he hosted, the attention to detail, like top to bottom, the banners, the new trophies, the everything, and all in a theme with the summer fun and winter fun. And he brings that to the games too. And never really clicked with me. That's one of the things that sets him apart until reading that. Is like, no, like top to bottom, T-Cool knows what details are going to add to it that people wouldn't usually think of.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. Especially because I am one of those people where I don't really dabble in the OSC just because for me, my writing style is very much like pretty long-winded. I struggle with. I realize that not every prompt in the OSC is literally just one sentence long, but I still struggle. I still anytime it's like a short length for a prompt, I'm like I literally I remember when I was taking creative writing workshops and the page limit was like 5 pages for every workshop you turn in. I would hit those 5 pages easy every single time without even trying. So yeah. Let's see. Pick says the San Diego Zoo is amazing, but the Wild Animal Park might be better. I don't know. The thing about the San Diego Zoo for me that really blew my mind was the landscaping. Seriously, the landscaping in that zoo is just it's better than any theme park I have ever been to. It's that good. So from what I know about the Wild Animal Park, it's like I don't know much about it, but I don't think it's as intricately like everything is just connected. I think it's more so you just kind of it's more of a safari type of experience, which is valid. It's cool, but another thing
kind of a different thing though. So it's like comparing apple birds to orange birds,
right? Another thing about that safari park is that it's pretty far out of the way. My grandma and I, we could have done that park when we did San Diego last year, but instead we decided to go the other direction to Legoland. And I will say, Legoland, I'm glad I did it once. And if I was a kid doing that park, it would literally be better than Disneyland for me. It would I would hyper fixate on that park hardcore if I was a kid going there. But I don't ever need to go to that park again after I've done it once. You know, I checked it off the list. I don't ever need to go back.
It's exciting for me for sure, but I also get what you're saying, where I feel like I kind of missed the time to do it when all the rides would have been meant for me.
Right, yeah. Not just the rides, dude, the whole vibe of that place. Like obviously as a grown-ass adult, I'm not going to be going into those build stations, you know? But as a kid, you're goddamn right, I would have been going into those build stations. I would have been hitting up those build stations left and right. Also, the Lego Movie ride, which was heavily anticipated by me, kind of a little bit of a letdown. It's all right. It's all right. It's just like I was going in expecting like a faster paced Soarin'. It's not that really. It's the ride system is kind of similar to Soarin', but it's just not nearly as immersive. It's still fun, but
yeah. Anyway. I will just give a quick note. We are 45 minutes in and not halfway done. So we might.
Oh, that's not a good sign. Okay, yeah, I need to be fucking done by 8 o'clock for Survivor. Okay, let's move on.
I wanted to give you that note. These tangents are great. I've been enjoying them. I just noticed them.
All right. Let's move on to Monorail Red, who literally just showed up.
Yeah, I will say this afternoon, like, hey, can I join? I'm like, please.
I will say I still think she's the single most talented artist that we have, hands down. Her Mary Blair style is just impeccable. She keeps on refining it year after year. As far as the artistry goes, she is like so freaking locked in. Activity-wise, I know, like, obviously she's very busy, but she's also pretty hit or miss when it comes to activity. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. If Monorail Red's able to be here and like is able to be available, the Monorail Red's someone I see going very far in this game.
I feel like we've literally been saying that about every single person.
A little bit. We got a lot of us started this when we were in like either college or high school, and now we're all adults with a lot less consistent schedules.
Oh God, we're old.
I know. This is the Imagineering Forum going through the midlife crisis.
Right. You know what, though? It still kind of blows my mind that we are still on a forum that is actually active.
Yeah.
That is a rare fucking thing.
I feel like between Reddit having the new ownership that's kind of killing it, and Twitter having new ownership that's kind of killing it, I think forums are about to go through a big boom.
I hope so, man, because I have such fond memories of forums in the 2000s before social media became what it was.
But anyways, not to get off on another tangent, Tegan, your art is also amazing. You should not sell your Sharpies. But yeah, Mono Red's art is admittedly insane. And also a very cool person. You're right, C. Dunlap. No, they know what they're doing. They do it well. I'm assuming they sell their art, but if not, they should.
All right. Okay, let's move on to Team Boats.
Ooh, boats.
All right, we got AGP, Architectural Guinea Pig.
Orangebird is at thinking about boats.
So AGP I worked with for the first time like pretty late into the run of Manor of Mysteries. And basically the one thing I really know about them is that they are very locked into the presentation side of things.
Oh, for sure. Like I didn't actually work with them other than one project, and that one project I could see, oh no, they are nailing the visuals, nailing the maps, which the maps are very Parklore inspired. Like, I don't know if you know parklore.com. They're fantastic. But I think I've seen them reference them as an inspiration, and you can see that in their work. Like, oh, no, I see that same style, and they nail it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they went, correct me if I'm wrong, they made it all the way to the end in Manor of Mystery.
Yeah, they went to the final three.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that was their first game or their second game, if they were in What If, but for either the first or second game to make it to the final three and really earn that spot.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's impressive.
All right. Carter Dunlap says AGP is amazing when it comes to maps.
Yeah.
Tegan
says
I
don't want to say they're only maps. I'm sure they do a lot more than maps. That's because all I saw, because I only worked with them on one project.
It's literally just maps. He's the map guy, and that's it. He won't even write anything.
Like, I kind of on purpose, because AGP, Tegan, and Space are all, while they do other things, are all kind of known for maps. I kind of put them all on the same team with the intention. This is going to push the other team to work on their maps, and this is going to push the three of them to not fall back on the old reliable. I'll go do the map.
Nice. All right, moving on here. Every single time I've gone to switch the banners, I've clicked on the wrong tab, like consistently, every single last time.
You're good. Brea Panther, fantastic artist, fun to hang out with.
Yeah, Brea Panther's run in So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20 is iconic. Just straight up one of the best underdog runs we've ever seen in the game. He's someone where I truly feel like the biggest obstacle in his way all the time is his self-esteem, which I can relate to. I've seen time and time again where he'll get down on himself. When in reality, I think he's definitely a talented artist. He's got a specific knack for character designs in particular. Yeah. And I also think the writing on his, it's not like mind-blowing, like Paragon level, like paragraphs worth of paragraphs of backstory, but it's still very solid, very consistent.
It's very good, if not as detailed as it needs to be sometimes, but very good. Like Brea Panther, if you're watching this, and I don't know that so many people in the chat, and a lot of them don't have the same name, but if you are watching this, the thing I want you to take away is that you're a talented, experienced veteran on this forum with skills that a lot of people don't have and wish they did. Own that. Like,
totally.
That's what I want to see from Brea Panthers, kind of come into to own this game like they still have to do. And So You Want to Be a 20. I want to pay that off, and I can see them going all the way to the end if they do.
Yeah, I'll definitely be rooting for them for sure. Long time person. I believe they're another person that and again, it's like I you know what's funny is I feel like if we want to talk about getting old, I feel like 10 years ago, I could have recited literally every single placement of every single season of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. Now I struggle to even think of who was on what season for the most part. I know the winners. I know all the winners. That's really about it.
10 years ago, there was half as many seasons.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, Brea Panther has been here for a long time. I think they were here when I started 8 years ago. But if I remember correctly, they were kind of like young then. And then they came into their own like a few years later. And it's like, okay, they went from the person who's just kind of hanging out to, okay, now they're a serious player here and they're good.
Sure. Alrighty, next up.
And just a note from the chat. Tegan is saying that every Team Boats project will feature 3 maps.
Oh, God.
And Ellie maybe is saying that they gotta work on their maps, so they'll get cooked by maps. There's gonna be a large volume of maps, apparently, so you don't know. I'm expecting one Team Boat project to be nothing but maps. And like it's to be like a
I did not
site.
see. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say it could be like a Google site, so you keep going to different tabs, expecting to find the project, but it's just another map.
Oh, God. Muppet fan, I can say, like, I did not see any of your writing that was straight up terrible. Was it the best writing? No, but I mean, it's that, like, don't sell yourself short on that, man.
Well, I think it's critics.
What you did was bad at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, I did it again. Next up, you're going to have to kind of take the lead on this. This is probably this guy, and then also Walt Twiz are the 2 people I don't really know that much about.
Yeah.
Disney Warrior.
Disney Warrior, they've been around for a while, I think, but they're pretty solid. Big Nintendo fan, which I respect. Gotta love Nintendo. They got the Zelda profile pic, favorite game. I love Zelda.
Oh, okay. I know. Now that you mentioned the Zelda thing, yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the point is, they're very good, very solid. They're not someone who does like a specific like talent point to the child. They're just always a good addition to their team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say, I think that because of what you just said, because they don't have like a singular thing that they excel at, that could either be really valuable for a game like this or could get you out early. It kind of just depends on the team dynamics.
The only thing that really worries me with them is they have mentioned 2 separate times already they don't think they're going to be available a lot this game. So if they're able to make a big impact in a few posts, they can go far. If not, then it might be an earlier elimination, sadly.
Yeah, if I were to bet on it, I would say that they're probably not locked in the merge, but I hate to say that about literally any player, and honestly, we have so many good players that...
Yeah, and they're really good. Like, if they're able to be here, I think they're going to be solid and go far.
Yeah, assuming that these people actually show up, that, like, more than, let's say, 80% of the people that are signed up right now actually show up, are actually involved, are actually engaged, I think we're looking at a game where the eliminations are even more painful and dramatic than So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20.
We'll have to see how it goes.
And that shit was like straight up, like, I saved the best for last when it came to that game actually feeling like a real reality show with the eliminations.
Like, honestly, as a player, it did. It felt like I was on like a Survivor, and it felt like easy sometimes. Like, I would step out of myself. I'm like, I just spent like 10 minutes drawing Weird Al as broccoli. Why does this feel so serious?
Tegan says that game took years off my life.
Yep.
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay.
So, who we got next?
I honestly, like, I kind of feel bad that we're, like, going through the second half of the cast so fast. I hope that they don't mind.
Fair, most of the first half was Ghostbusters.
That's true. Yeah, most of the first half was tangents. So, all right. We got Outbound. I'm going to call it right now. I honestly think Outbound's my winner pick.
Ooh, that's a daring pick right off the bat. But you know what? I could see that with Outbound.
I think that the thing with Outbound is that, knowing what I know about Outbound, I don't think he would sign up if he wasn't ready to go. You know what I mean? And I think he's a triple threat. I think he's socially great. I think his writing is incredible. He's got amazing presentation skills. I mean, he is just the complete package of a player.
Like, the only thing that I would say could possibly hold him back is the same thing he said in his post about weaknesses, is one of his big strengths and one of his big weaknesses is he can be very focused on the small thing on a project. And usually that winds up with something that is great and will elevate the whole project. But sometimes it can be like, oh, I did this one thing really well, and the rest of the whatever. But even just his whatever is really strong because he's really strong at what he does. But as long as he can keep from getting too focused on something that's too small, he's gonna be great. And like you said, the possible winner pick.
All right. I am going to cite some So You Want to Be an Imagineer history for you and compare the game that you literally just described to one of my all-time favorite winners of So You Want to Be an Imagineer, and that's Season 10 with Snoopy. Now, I am a little bit biased because Snoopy is literally, like, by a considerable margin, I'm not really in contact with him anymore, but by a considerable margin, he is my oldest internet friend. Like, me and him were communicating in 2003, bro. 2000. Oh my God. I've known him for 20 years. Jesus Christ. I literally just realized that. Oh,
21.
So there is a little bit of bias there for being so excited to see him win, right? But what he did so well with his win was exactly what you described. Every project, he was mostly focused on something like a flat ride or a restaurant or something like that. But he would go out of his way to make sure that that element was one of the standout things about the project consistently every round. And that is exactly how he won the whole damn game.
I mean, that was my strategy for season 20 too. And that's, I mean, I don't know if that's how it came across, but that was my strategy is up until like the merge.
Bro, you know what won you season 20, bro. Come on now.
It was mostly the gaslighting, yes.
I mean, that was a stroke of genius, my friend.
It was so much fun. Which I don't think I have planned any projects that was someone's going to go solo this game, but that was a big thing that helped me stand out in that game. And Ace Astro had a project like that in Man of Mysteries that helped him stand out. That seems to really be the secret to winning games, is have something you do solo while the teams are doing their stuff.
It's kind of like, if anyone's into Survivor, it's kind of like the equivalent to when they introduced the Final Four fire making challenge and people started taking themselves into fire making just to get another move on their resume. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
All right. Pi's already gaslighting us. Muppet fan, that moment of realizing that I've known Snoopy for over 20 years, that definitely was a make myself feel old moment for sure. I mean, we were geeking out about the trailer for Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl, bro.
Classic.
Keegan says, outbound collecting the Infinity Stones of Imagineering.
Yeah.
What's funny about Thanos is that I literally cannot look at Thanos without thinking about Gurney Halleck now. Like, Josh Brolin just is Gurney Halleck for me. And every one of his characters is just bleeding into that persona now.
I'm gonna guess that's the name of someone from Dune. Dune. Yeah.
It's like when Grandma tells your story. When Grandpa tells you a story about Nom. I'm not that old.
My day with Gurney Halleck.
God. All right. Moving on. We have Priest. I will say Priest is another incredibly high variance player.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could either go the distance or get out early. I mean, it's obviously, like, the thing with him is that he's got a career that he really can't make exceptions for, right? Like, he's got a very important career. And there's stuff like retreats and stuff that he just cannot be around for. It's very hard for him to play the game around that kind of schedule. But again, I'm gonna say what I've been saying with, like, pretty much every one of these, like, old school heavy hitters who have been around for a long time, And honestly, Priest is one of the more new school of the old school heavy hitters. Like he's been around, but he's not as old school as some of the other people that we talked about. But I think that if Priest manages to get himself into a schedule where he doesn't have to go on any retreats, he doesn't miss any time, that's when he's locked in. That's when he's dangerous. Tegan says Priest is overdue for comp win. Has Priest never won any comp here? That's kind of crazy.
I don't think so. I know he's came very close a couple times.
Because yeah, you're right. He is very overdue for a win. Absolutely, he is.
The one piece of advice I will give Priest, and this is the big thing, and this is something I feel like, and maybe this is just me, but I feel like Ace Astro kind of struggled with like a few years ago, and once he overcame that, that's when he went from being like a good Imagineer to like one of the great ones here. Epoch Priest doesn't tend to do passion projects often. He tends to just kind of go with, I think this is what would be smart for the puck, and not much with, this is what I want to work on. Like his final project for Man of Mysteries was a Trolls Land, and he could have done anything in the world, and he did a Trolls Land for Universal Hollywood, and hadn't seen Trolls before doing the project. And it was great. He's great at research, he's great at writing. But if you combine the talent he has with like themes that he's more interested in personally and a bit more of that shining through, I think that's something that's going to really like help him like elevate his game and maybe even get him that competition win. Even with little things, with like the one sentence competition. Theme Park Priest won the one word competition. I missed that one.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, how does the one word competition even work?
I missed it. I didn't know there was a one word competition. And I will be Googling that. And
I genuinely don't understand how a competition like that would function. Is it like the SpongeBob meme where he writes the one word on the essay, but it's like the most intricate, like the ever? Is it like that?
I guess so. It's gonna be like, what team do you want to play? Steiner Land, and just say IP, something like that. I don't know. It's a fun concept though. Like in the one sentence competition, the one round I know Priest like won hands down. Like, oh, there was no question, that was the gold. Was the Universal Parade round with a Scooby Doo parade, and it's like,
oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And I think he added it to like a Scooby Doo puck he was working on afterwards. And it's because it was something he was passionate about.
See, Outbound doesn't even remember hosting that, so no.
That makes me feel a little bit better about forgetting it existed. But yeah, one world competition. Outbound, you're a genius for setting that up. I love it.
Muppet fans, this is how it works. You put all of the details into the word.
There you go. That sounds about right.
Also, Muppet fan, I'm just getting knowledge. I know you're working on the Nifty 50 Boulevard, and I'm stoked to see that that's a passion project of yours. I just don't have a lot of time to contribute to that, unfortunately. I'm very busy between work, and I literally feel like when I'm not working, I'm in podcast mode. When I'm not podcasting, I'm in work mode. And that's my life, and I have time for maybe 3 social events a month. So I apologize that, because I saw that you added me to that group chat that you're working on, and I apologize that I haven't really been active in that. But yeah, it's, I'm pushing 35, Pi. I'm pushing 35. I'm an old man.
Okay.
All right.
I think how many more? I think we have 2 more people. 1 more people.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
2 more.
Just. All right. Oh no, 3. 3
more.
Yes.
Some amount more.
All right.
Oh, Space
okay.
Mountain.
Space.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I love Space. I think he's totally an iconic person in the community. Yeah. I think his days of playing to win are over.
We'll see how it goes, because he has been a lot busier with things, but he did when he signed up, he said, and he messaged I got a lot more free time coming up. I couldn't really be here for the last like several months. I can be here now. And I think there's a lot of like built up energy with spaces just kind of like ready to hit the ground running. I think we might see the most like competitive space we've seen in years.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like for me, my vision of Space's game currently is basically that he's usually there to fill a mentor role to prop up newer people, and then he usually dips out around the merge, which honestly is totally respectable. Like I do not shame him for that one bit. I think that's actually a very valuable role for someone to take on in a game like this. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. I one of the things I meant to do before this that I just didn't get around to because Balatro. Hey Pi, have you heard the good name of Balatro?
Literally only from you. I have not heard a single other person talk about that game. It sounds cool though.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I think that based on what you said, I do think that he's one of those people where if he puts his effort into it, man, he's literally unstoppable. Literally unstoppable if he actually is in it. If he doesn't intend to do the bow out around the merge, which, like I said, I totally think that's a valid way to play these games. I really do. I think that you really it's great to have people who are in it to prop up other people. But as far as like if we're doing a cast assessment based on winners, I don't know, man. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes with Space. I think if he does have the time he thinks he has, I think it's been a while since he's played, so I think he's ready to go more all in and like, no, I want to do this. Let's go. I gotta prove something now. And I also, while there are like some new people in the game, there's not a ton of new people, so I don't think there's gonna be as much like mentoring needed. He's just playing.
He says he's.
This is not the 2 world competition Space yet. We'll see what happens in future parts of the game. But Space might be a little rusty. Has a good point. It's been a hot minute. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I will say that even though he pretty much came into So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20 with the intention of doing exactly what he did, which is, bowing out at the merge, I will say that every round he played, he was still very locked into it. So it's like, even when he's not intending to win, he's still a force.
Oh, yeah.
Tegan says, so you're Disneyland Space Mountain in 1995. Oh, God. With Space says, I think the last thing I genuinely did was the Nicktoons Landy project. Oh, man.
And it was one of the best projects.
That project was great. But I remember I was playing. Do you remember this? Where I was playing in an ORG myself, and it had got into a point where like the alliance that I was in was backstabbing someone that I was also close with, and I was like so nervous about it, and I literally didn't want to attend the tribal, and so instead of attending the tribal, I just literally stayed up all night reading and writing feedback on that thing. All night. I did not sleep.
Love that.
All right. Okay, next up we have Tegan. All right. Tegan's out for some revenge, man.
Oh, yeah. Tegan seems ready.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, with Goofy Yuck and I, when we were hosting So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20, literally, it was a big point of conversation for us the whole time through the season. Man, this season's going great. I love all the creativity coming out of it. The winner is fucking obvious.
And Tegan's a front runner in just about every game she's a part of.
And it's just like, and she didn't even end up getting the second place, which
I have no idea how that happened, but yeah.
I honestly think it really just comes down to she oversold her strategy in the final tribal council. I really think that's what did it. I really think that people were like,
That might
okay,
have
you
been
know
the
what?
turning point.
Creative writing game. It's a little bit too much strategy. I really think so. So we'll
It's
see.
tough because it's easy to get caught up in the strategy and have a lot of fun with that. But this is a game where there's less of that, so I feel like that's gonna help Tegan even more.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And plus, with all the personal stuff that she's recently gone through, I feel like that's obviously great for her.
And now she's ready to get back to it and get going.
Exactly. I feel like she's kind of been on a journey these past few months, and now that she's kind of come out the other side, I feel like it's just no holds barred. I feel like, honestly, I think that she's probably outside of Outbound, maybe my number 2 winner pick.
I could definitely see that. And
yeah,
I will say, she is another one where she was like very specifically paired up with people, not just for the maps, but I also wanted Tegan and Theme Park Priest to be on the same team because Theme Park Priest's like weakness, for lack of a better word, is that he tends to not do passion projects, and Tegan's weakness, for lack of a better word, is sometimes getting too caught up in passion projects.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like that could be a dynamic where if they could like both grow from each other and help each other out there, and I feel like that's going to really balance things out.
I love that. That's the power alliance of the season right there. Mark it down, folks.
It potentially could be.
All right, so you know what we're gonna do now, Pi?
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna do a quick draft.
A quick draft?
A quick draft. We got to do a draft. We got to, right? We got to. We have time.
Yeah, we'll do a quick draft.
All right. You know what? Let me. Do you want to
do Walt Quiz? Is there one more person?
Oh my God, we have not talked about Walt Quiz. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, thank you.
Totally
that
good. I just was counting along in my head. I'm like, we've done a lot of people tonight. Did we miss any?
That would have been bad if we just went from Tegan straight to the draft without talking about him. Oh man.
But Walt Quiz is someone I
legitimately he is the one person that I don't think has played anything.
I don't know if he's played any games, but he has come out the gate swinging like terms of activity and like messaging people to be like, hey, I have these ideals for like group brainstorming projects and perks. Anyone want to work with it? So he's already good at working with people. He's already has the excitement. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I guess since I haven't seen them in the game like this, I don't fully know how it's going to go because it's new to them.
Yeah, but I mean, my argument there is that as long as they've got the passion and the drive, like you're right, we don't know for sure. But passion and drive, man, as someone who's hosted 20 seasons of this thing, there's almost arguably no bigger value to someone on a team than those two things. You can be an amazing artist, you can be a top-notch writer, but if you don't have passion and drive, you're not going to get far. So I think that they could be a dark horse. I mean, I think it's an uphill battle towards winning, but keep in mind, this is basically like if we were to do a Survivor All-Stars and throw in one random new player, right? Like that player probably doesn't have the best shot of actually winning the game, but it's going to be interesting, and I'm hoping for the best for them, and I'm hoping that at the very least this is a good kind of first go around.
Oh yeah,
and I could see them just based on the level of activity that they have had so far. I can totally see them, going the distance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
I think that's all we have to say for Walt's Quiz. We got the draft. We do gotta do the draft quickly. I got some things I gotta do. I know you got some things you gotta do soon. But you can't skip the draft, of course.
Oh, my bad. Honestly, if you need to go, we don't have to necessarily do the draft, but
we can do the quick draft. We got time. Does Orangebird want to be a part of the draft?
I need to set up a document really quick.
Orangebird does not want to be part of the draft.
What?
I was checking if OB wanted to be a part of the draft. The facial expression is subtle, but I knew what it meant. That's what happened. Me and Obi, we got a connection.
I just need to copy and paste all the cast into a document really quick so we can visually see the team distribution. While I'm doing that, Pi, you want to give a teaser of the first project or something, perhaps? Maybe no pressure. You don't have to.
I will. I'm just checking, see what's going on in the chat. It looks like Tegan is forming a new cryptocurrency that's totally not a scam and selling kryptonite. It's not cryptocurrency, it's made of kryptonite. Got it. Anyways, tease for the first project. It's Orange Bird. We got Jungle Cruise and Tiki Birds and all kinds of stuff like that. So like, if you think about what makes sense for where to start, you might be able to figure out what's going on. That's right. It might just be Tomorrowland. Yeah.
Oh, God. I legitimately hope that you don't have any Adventureland projects this whole game.
That 100% was something I was considering doing. I'm not saying whether or not I did that. I am saying that it's something I consider would just be a total fake out, and every project's not just not Adventureland, but no like Animal Kingdom or anything else natural, all like Future World and Tomorrowland studio backlot areas. You will not see.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually thinking of a prompt that I think is really cool and creative, and I'm probably going to incorporate it in the future. Create a boat ride themed around the Tiki Room, and create an animatronic show themed around Jungle Cruise skippers.
That'd be really fun.
I know, right? I really think that'd be fun.
Okay. Now, while
Pi,
I'm
ready here. Bear with me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. While Tiki's finishing setting it up, does anyone have any questions in the chat? Anything ready to go? Any thoughts, comments, concerns? It's almost game time. I'm not promising anything, but maybe I'll just hit send on those projects when this podcast is over instead of waiting till midnight. Who knows?
Ooh, that's usually what I do.
Yeah, it's all right. What I'm gonna do.
That'll be fun too, because I'll be watching Survivor, and then I'll be able to come back and see all the progress.
Tegan wants to know where catering is going to be. Catering is OB. Just he doesn't know yet. If you get hungry, though, he's a good source of vitamin C. And Ellie maybe wants to know if we'll win a real on-tree deed if you win. And I have no idea how much that costs, but like if that's a feasible price, yeah, that sounds really cool. Actually, I was considering getting like a little plastic trophy, and then if the winner was okay with me having the address, mailing it to them, an on-tree deed would be really fun.
Okay, Pi. Since it's your game, I'm gonna let you have the first pick.
Well, you know what? I gotta go with the meme of the year of Ace Astro. I'm gonna go with Ace Astro first.
Okay. You know who I'm picking first? I'm going to Outbound.
Outbound's not a bad pick at all. I'm gonna go with a newer one who made a big splash already. Go with AGP, Architectural Guinea Pig.
Right. Honestly, I feel like this isn't even fair, but since you didn't pick her, I'm taking Tegan if you're not.
That was probably.
I feel like as a second round pick, that's a steal.
I got a couple I'm debating between next. I think I'm gonna go with Space. Like I said, I just got a feeling that Space is gonna be Alpha Blood this time.
That is absolutely valid. So let's Space. Am I missing anyone that I haven't deleted yet?
I don't see anyone deleted.
Okay, so you pick space. I'm going to go ahead and pick Peregrine. Now, keep in mind, people, we're picking like the heavy hitters right off the bat, So if you're not picked right away, please don't take offense to that. All right, I'm picking Peregrine.
Go for it. I think that. I think I'm gonna go with T Cool.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I go with T Cool.
And I think I have to go Jokers. I have to go friendship loyalty here.
I get that. And Jokers is very. We say this about everyone. They're all very talented. I'm very happy with the turnout. Like y'all, I'm so excited to see what you're gonna do and how this is gonna go.
Well, I'm pretty stoked for it myself. I mean, I feel like this is just as good of a turnout as So You Want to Be an Imagineer 20 was.
I mean, it helps with the spring. And LEB, I know you just said you don't need to be drafted to enjoy the matchup of the draft, but you are actually my next draft. I feel like you're up and you got like that spark of personality. I feel like you're gonna go really far this game.
All right, you know what? In the spirit of that, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Muppet Fan.
Not a bad
because literally everything that you said about LEB, I think the same about Muppet Fan. I think Muppet Fan, especially after last season that he played, I see some real potential there.
And for a similar kind of reason, I think I'm going to go with Brea Panther next. Because like I said, they're a veteran. They think if they own that, I think this could be their season.
All right. I think honestly, as a what seed are we at now? Fifth as a sixth seed. I think Priest is a steal. I think Priest has been really slept on so far this draft.
Yeah, well, like I was just looking at the list. I'm like, wow, I don't know who I would have picked above who I did, but also like every of these people should have been like first round practically, or at least top 3 rounds.
I know, right?
I think I'm going to get Disney Man 1 next, just because, again, he changed the profile pic, and that could not mean anything. It takes 2 seconds to do, but I think that's him going all in here.
All right. I am going to go ahead and go with another newbie. I am going to roll the dice on Walt's Wiz. I'm going to roll the dice here.
Good choice. Good choice.
Okay, Disney Dad or Disney Warrior? The Battle of the D's.
Ooh, it's interesting because both of them are very good, and both of them have the same potential issue of availability. I think I'm going to go Disney Warrior for the dark horse here. We all know the Disney Dad, if he's able to be here, is going to go towards near the end, if not the end. But Disney Warrior, I think he's going to really pull ahead.
All right, and Pi, I'm just going to pitch to you right now. I think that the way that we should do this draft, and we should literally, like honestly, every time that we do a draft, we never end up actually following through with it. I think that we need to follow through with it. And here's the thing. I think we should go golf rules.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is how many people are in the cast?
17 now.
17? Okay. So the first person out, the person who they're on that team gets 17
Monroe Red
points.
wasn't on that list. How did we miss Monroe Red? That's right, because it's an odd number.
God, you're right. Oh, geez, yeah, probably because it's an odd number. You're right. And because she literally wasn't on your first post.
Oh.
Okay. You know what? I kind of feel like I hate to do this, but I kind of feel like just in the interest of fairness and because she is such a last minute.
There
you go.
So if Red wins, Orangeburg wins.
There you go. I love that. All or nothing. And honestly, Red is the type of player where you would bet that stakes on Red.
I would not be surprised at all.
But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Literally, when
I'm committing to a bet. I might not be here for every podcast. I know you probably are going to have other hosts throughout the season, but when I'm here, I'm always ready to commit to a bet.
I mean, I want you every time if you can.
If I can, I'd love to be here.
If availability is an issue, then yeah, obviously I'll try and get other people. But man, I think you and I have a really good dynamic. I think that
It's a lot of fun.
So, but anyways, you understand what I'm saying about the golf rules, though?
No.
Okay, let me try explaining it one more time. So, the person who has the first boot in their team gets 17 points. The person who has the second boot gets 16 points. And the goal is to not get the most points, but the least points.
I think that sounds fantastic.
All right, and we will keep tabs on that throughout the season.
Sounds good. OB agrees.
All right, well, I think that's about it, folks. This has been a like literally in the process of doing that draft, we had about 50 comments. That went
There's so much going on. And just to quickly answer your question, Muppets fan, I know Tegan answered it also, but what's a dark horse? It's sort of like a four-legged animal you can ride on. It goes fast, and instead of being like light colored, it's dark colored. Anyways, I think we're good now.
All right. There's a Family Guy clip that I'm gonna end out on where it's like a parody of the Jerry Springer show, where it's like, I have something to say to you. I'm not a woman. I'm a man. But then it goes further. It's like, I'm actually not a man. I'm a horse. And then it's like, I'm not actually a horse. I'm a broom.
Before you end, if you can switch to Orangebird, are you able to end it on someone else?
Yeah.
There we go. That's the way to end it.
Okay. All right. Have a good night, everyone. I am so excited to see how the season turns out. Also, really quick, if you want to come on the podcast, message me. I can't. If you haven't been on the podcast before, I can't guarantee that you'll come on because it's just, especially if you're underage, there's kind of like a liability thing there. But yeah, assuming that you are willing to come on and you've been on before and all that, then yeah, message me by all means. You know who you are. I'd love to have you. All right. So that's about it. See y'all later. Have a good one.
Bye.